Lesson for today, 12.2, Amazing Story. So here we have how many people are there in the picture?
There are 9 people in the picture.
So you will say people, no S. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 9 people. Because if it's only one, you say person for only one. If it's 2 or more, we call them people. All right?
Yes.
Okay, now exercise 1. Match the words to the things in the picture. Now here. First, comic.
Comic is the picture D.
Picture letter D, correct. What about dictionary?
Dictionary is the picture B.
Good job. Magazine.
Magazine is the picture A.
Very good. Newspaper.
Newspaper is the picture C.
Good job. What about novel?
Novel. I think it's picture E.
Yes, correct. Novel is like a story of a person. Next. Where can you find the things in the box? Use the words from activity 1. So here. Advertisement. Where can you find advertisement? You can choose if it's in a comic, dictionary, magazine, newspaper, or novel. Advertisement. Want you to repeat after me. Let's do the pronunciation of each word first. So repeat after me, okay?
Yeah.
Advertisement.
Advertisement.
Article.
Article.
Cartoon.
Cartoon.
Crossword.
Crossword.
Information.
Information.
About a place or person.
About a place or person.
Information about a word.
Information about a word.
Photograph.
Photograph.
Good. Picture.
Picture.
Sport news.
Sport news.
Exciting story.
Exciting story.
Weather report.
Weather report.
Good. Now here, you can choose which one of the 5 vocabulary from exercise 1 can we find our advertisement.
Advertisement, I think, is in the newspaper or magazine.
Good. Say newspaper.
Newspaper.
Good job. What about article?
Article. Article, what does this mean?
Article is where you can read some information or some story in like you can find this in some magazine or newspaper. It's like something telling us something about like a story, like for example an article about coronavirus. So it is telling us information. So it's an article.
Article in the paper.
Yes. Article. Where can we find article? In
And newspaper.
where else?
Magazine.
Good. And cartoon.
I think cartoon is comic.
What else?
Comic. Magazine.
Yeah, some. Where else? What else?
Newspaper.
Yeah, some newspaper they have some pages with cartoons, right? What about crossword? You can play like this. Well, you can play.
Crossword, I think, is
It's like
in
puzzle.
magazine.
Yeah, you can find it some in a magazine. What else? You can also find this in a
Newspaper.
newspaper. Correct. Information. It's very broad. It's very broad. Now here, information.
Information is in the novel, a
Mm,
novel, newspaper, or magazine.
yes.
Dictionary.
Dictionary. Yes, you can find information from all of them. Comic, dictionary, magazine, newspaper, and novel. You can find information. Information is anything that contains data. Next, about a place or a person. Where can we find where can we find about a place or a person?
I think it's in magazine,
Magazine.
newspaper, or novel.
Correct. Information about a word, like the meaning or definition. Like, for example, we don't know the meaning of article. So we need to find the meaning and where? Information about a word. We found we find it in a
Dictionary.
very good. What about photograph? Picture. Photograph or picture? Where can we find photograph?
Photograph is in magazine.
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 Good job. Yes. What what else? And what about in a newspaper? Can we find picture in a newspaper too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Same in some novel. Yeah, what about sport news? Of course, in a
Sport news in newspaper.
yes, newspaper. Sometimes
In magazine.
yes, correct. What about exciting story? Exciting story.
Exciting story is in novel.
Correct. What about in a magazine?
I don't think so.
Exciting story, for example, a celebrity magazine. So you can also find exciting story about celebrities in the magazine, but not the same as in the novel. Like every detail is in there. Like in a magazine, if there's like story, it's like a short story only about their life, not their entire life, but just a part, small part of their life. What about the weather report?
Weather report, I think, is in newspaper.
Very good. It's very obvious. Weather report, we can find it in a newspaper. Can we find it in a comic? No. Dictionary? No. Novel? No. Magazine? No. Only in a newspaper or on a TV broadcast. Next, here. Past continuous. When you say past continuous, we will going to use the past form of the verb plus continuous plus the ing form. So here, let's try this exercise 4. Read the examples and look at the diagram. Which verb is A and which is B? So we have two verbs in a past continuous. Verb A and verb B. Alright? Verb A should be past and verb B should be the continuous. It's very easy to identify because the other one is past and the other one is the verb with ing. So let's read the example number 1. Can you read the example number 1, Emma?
Yes. Claudia was reading a comic book when the teacher walked in.
Example number 2.
When the teacher walked in, Paula was sitting in her class.
In her chair. In
her chair.
Good. Good job. So here, use when before the past, when and while. So when to use when and while. Let's focus here first. When to use when and while. Use when before the past simple. Past simple, meaning to say here, Claudia was. Was is our past simple. When she walked in, I was sleeping. So we use when, and then it's before the verb, the simple or the past simple walked. It's before. When she walked in, I was sleeping. When do we use while? Use while before the past continuous. So it's different. Past continuous is the verb with ing. Here, she walked in while I was sleeping. While, past continuous, was sleeping. So while is before the past continuous. What about when here? When? We use when before the past simple. Where's the past simple of the first sentence here, Emma? When she walked in, I was sleeping. Past simple verb is
Past simple.
past simple. What verb is the past simple in the first sentence? When she walked in, I was sleeping.
The past simple
Is here.
walk.
Correct. Walked. Now we use when. When she walked in, I was sleeping. Otherwise, we use while before the past continuous. Can you read the sample sentence here? She walked in while. Please read, Emma.
She walked in while I was sleeping.
Okay. She walked in while I was sleeping. So we use while before the past continuous and we use when before the past simple. Alright? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go back here. Number 1. Claudia was reading a comic book when the teacher walked in. So when is before the past simple, which is walked, right?
Yes.
Okay, now which one is the verb A? We have two highlighted verbs in number 1, was and walked. Now, which one is the verb A? We need to say the verb that comes first.
The verb is work.
The verb A is?
The verb is work.
And which one is the verb B?
The verb B is reading.
Was. Now say again, was.
Was.
Is this, what do you mean? Did you say earlier the verb A is walked or was? Emma?
Can you ask me again?
Did you say the verb A is walked or did you say the verb A is was?
The verb A is works.
Okay, now here, look at the diagram. Here, letter A and letter B. As you can see, letter B is in the middle. It's in the middle part. Can you see it?
Yes.
And the verb A is in the beginning. So let's analyze the sentence. Claudia was reading a comic when the teacher walked in. So, Claudia is already reading or was already reading a comic. And then her teacher walked in. So that's very obvious that verb A was reading because Claudia was already reading in there. And then verb B is walked when the teacher walked in. Did you get it?
Yes, I understand.
Good. Next, number 2. When the teacher walked in, Paula was sitting in her chair. So try to analyze the situation. Which one comes first?
The verb A is
Is
was
sitting. And verb B?
verb B is works.
Correct. Good job. Now next. Exercise B. Choose the correct words to complete the rule. So here, first, we make the past continuous with the past of to be or to do and the ing or ed form of the verb. Now, how do we make a past continuous sentence? Are we going to use past of to be? What are the past of to be? We use was, were, or to do. Here. Can you answer exercise 5, Emma? Based on the example above,
We make the past continuous with the past of to be
and
the ing form.
Correct. And the ing form of the verb. So very smart. Good job. Correct. We make the past excuse me. We make the past simple, or we make the past continuous with the past of to be and the ing form of the verb. That's very obvious with the example above. Alright?
Yes.
Ask and answer questions about the people in the picture. So I'll be asking a question and then just try to answer it. Just extend 2 more minutes. Here.
Paula. Paula is read a book.
Paula is reading.
Reading a book.
Is reading a book. Correct. What about June?
June
Is
sleeping.
yes, June is sleeping. All right, so let's continue our lesson tomorrow. Emma?
Tomorrow?
No, on Monday. Okay, on Monday, let's continue our lesson on Monday. And just try to answer some of your listening on the book. Oh, you're so excited. Tomorrow, no class. What are you doing tomorrow, Emma?
Yes.
What are you going to do tomorrow?
I think tomorrow I will visit my grandparents.
Do you like staying at your grandparents' place?
Yes, because I can play game more.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. I'll see you on Monday, Emma, okay?
Yes.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, teacher.